All right, everyone, welcome back to the Full Court Press. I'm Jonathan, joined as always by Anthony. And tonight we are going to be talking about the Milwaukee Bucks.
Thank you. I'm excited.
All right, so recently the Milwaukee Bucks, they fired their coach, who they hired at the beginning of the season, Adrian Griffin. Rookie head coach, and they hired Doc Rivers. So, questionable move. Not a whole lot of reason for it. So I'm asking you, Tony, why'd they do this? What, you got any insight for us?
Well, why they did it, I honestly don't know why Adrian Griffin got dismissed. That's kind of a question I'm hearing a lot. I have to think it's behind the scenes. Maybe similar to the Ime Udoka situation where there was more to it than the play on the court. Why they got rid of Adrian Griffin, I don't know. Why they hired Doc Rivers, if I'm going to be real with you, Jonathan, it just feels like a desperation move. Like they realized they needed a coach and kind of just took the most accomplished, experienced guy that was available in the market right now. For me, really, if I was a Milwaukee Bucks fan, I would have a bad taste in my mouth about this whole thing because how do I put this? It reeks of desperation.
It really does.
It reeks of
really
we
does.
don't have a plan. It just feels like they're pushing buttons and seeing what's going to work. Like, well, we're going to get rid of Mike Budenholzer, who won us a ring, 3 years ago? This man won you an NBA championship. And just grab a random assistant. I mean, he was an accomplished assistant, but still zero head coaching experience. And
where'd he come from again?
Toronto.
Toronto.
He's
Okay.
an assistant under Nick Nurse.
Okay.
So I mean, yeah, it just doesn't feel planned at all. It just feels like Milwaukee's making it up as they go.
Yeah, it really does. Really weird, but hey, Doc Rivers, like you said, he's got the credentials. He's been on a lot of teams. He seems like a respectable guy, and I don't know, I guess my question when I'm looking at Doc Rivers is he going to be able to command the respect? You were talking about Mike Budenholzer. Why'd Mike Budenholzer get fired? Did Giannis just not like him? Why'd Adrian Griffin get fired? Did Giannis just not like him? Is Giannis going to like Doc Rivers? Can he command the respect of that locker room? There's been some weird incidents, with Giannis. That's my question right now is
well, I'll echo this. You mentioned Doc Rivers' credentials. I'm going to quote my dad on this one. I say, just because you've had a lot of jobs doesn't mean you're a good worker.
Yeah.
Doc, this is his fifth team, actually, and he has 20-plus years of experience. He has one ring to show for it. And it was with the most stacked team at the time, the 2008 Boston Celtics. As far as can he command the respect, I think he's going to be in a better position than Adrian Griffin was for sure, maybe even Mike Budenholzer. Why did Mike Budenholzer get fired? It's a good question. Like I said, it's kind of a desperation move. Going home in the first round as the 1 seed really did not help. I won't echo that. And I think
they got snuck up on though.
They did. And Miami went to the finals. I give them that. That's a sneaky. That was a sneaky good Miami team, but you still were the number 1 seed and you blew it. And I feel like a lot of the desperation too, Jonathan, it comes from the fact that we're talking about a smaller market team in Milwaukee. If you look at as far as population, it's one of the smaller cities that fields an NBA roster. Those teams struggle to attract superstars. They've got a guy who has the potential to go down as one of the all-time talents at power forward. They're going to make him happy.
Got to make him happy. That's right.
There's plenty of examples in history, though, that rarely works. That's rarely the best move, is to just keep the superstar happy always.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. I hope he can command the respect. He's a player's coach. Seems like most people like him. I think he will. I think Giannis wants to win more than he's got to want to be right. And even if he doesn't like Doc, he's going to see it through now. They don't really have an option. They need to work on defense. Doc's got some defense. So, or he's known as a defensive coach. I think we'll see some improvements there, and I'd note. What do you think? Do you think their recent record that they got with Doc? They're 1-4 right now. They're about to play the T-Wolves tonight, and we'll see how that goes. What do you think? Can he get them there? I mean, what do you think? It hasn't looked good so far.
Can he get them there? As in, can he win a ring this season?
Yeah, can he have a successful run? I guess I would say. I think anything short of the conference finals is not a successful run.
Can he have a successful run? Yes. To answer your question, yes, I think he can. I feel like the ceiling on this Milwaukee team, absolute ceiling, is losing the conference finals. And that's if a lot of things fall their way. If I'm being real with you, right now, I think Boston potentially sweeps them in a series. I think because look at them; they're handicapped defensively, and unless Doc can figure that, Doc's got playoffs start in April. Doc's got 2.5 months to figure this out.
But they got some good defensive players still. They got Giannis and Lopez, and they got Chris Middleton, who can still play some good defense. Malik Beasley hustles out there.
There's good pieces.
Yeah,
there's good pieces, but right now, I honestly think Cleveland beats them in a series. I think New
really.
York.
Cleveland.
I think a healthy Philly team could compete with them, man.
You think Cleveland beats them in a series?
I do.
Wow. That's a young team to beat the Milwaukee Bucks.
Does Damian Lillard guarding Donovan Mitchell all night?
I tell you what, if the Cleveland Cavaliers beat the Milwaukee Bucks in a series in the playoffs, the Bucks know they screwed up getting Damian Lillard. Because that was not happening.
Yeah, and I wouldn't put that up as the other ones with the desperation move, because on paper I feel like it made a lot of sense. I mean, putting Giannis with a true point guard, or at least a semi-true point guard.
They won a championship with Drew Holiday.
They did. A semi-true point guard who played defense. But can Doc get them there? I'm going to say not this season. I think if Doc gets a full off season and Doc can make the moves and build a roster he would want, I would say maybe. Because Giannis Antetokounmpo, if we're talking about guys in their prime, this is probably the best player that Doc Rivers has ever worked with.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's Kevin Garnett that could score more efficiently, and Doc won a ring with Kevin Garnett. So yeah. I would say potentially next season is when the title window really opens for Milwaukee. This almost feels like a glorified training camp the rest of the season for the Milwaukee Bucks. They're working out the bugs.
That's rough, Tony.
Right. I feel like they. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna strongly disagree with you here.
Okay.
I think they still got a run in them. I think they got a good chance of coming out of the East and competing with whoever's in the West. I think the defense is obviously the glaring issue, but I think their offense is better than it has been in the past, and I think their offense should just be unrivaled, and I think it'll win them a lot of games. You got a guy, Damian Lillard, who is a clutch scorer, leading the league in clutch scoring right now. And he's going to win you a lot of tight games.
He can.
And with a player like Giannis to get you all the way there, and then a closer like Damian Lillard, it just reminds me of Kobe and Shaq. That's how they got there. And I know, it's a bad comparison, but you got a guy in Giannis who's going to hold down the fort and play all the way up to the very end of the game. In the last 3 minutes of the game, you got Dame time. I mean, Dame's going to go off. So I think they got a good chance. I think they got a deep run in them. And if they're anywhere short of the conference finals, I'm going to be shocked. Wow. I don't think this recent losing streak is anything to worry about. They're missing some of their key players. Brook Lopez has been out. Damian Lillard twisted his ankle. And Chris Middleton, he was out last night. So, I mean, yeah, I think they'll be just fine. Yep.
I think the notion that the Milwaukee Bucks beat these 23-24 Boston Celtics in a 7-game series, I think that is a notion that is absolutely laughable. I think Boston would absolutely decimate the Milwaukee Bucks.
Hey, Boston's fell apart before.
Boston has fallen apart before. This Boston team is different.
Think so? They got Drew Holiday now.
They do.
That's not a matchup Lillard's
going
to like.
Ironically, that Drew Holiday is going to be the one to destroy the Milwaukee Bucks.
If he can shut down Lillard, they got a chance. But that's only if.
Damian Lillard is going to look like a JV point guard trying to get on the court at the YMCA while he is being guarded by Drew Holiday.
All right. Well, I guess the only thing we got left is what's the future look like for Doc? You think he's going to be here in the next couple years? What do you think the team's going to look like? If, like you say, they do fall apart, you think there's going to be some big shakeups happening? Maybe they try to jump off of Damian Lillard? What's going to happen?
Yeah, I think Doc and Damian will both be around for a few years.
Yeah.
I feel like there's.
You think Doc's going to be around for a few years? What if he loses 3-1 loss to the? If he's up 3-1 to the Boston Celtics and then he loses in the conference finals
this season?
Yeah. You think he's out?
No. Doc Rivers isn't getting fired this season. Doc Rivers will come back next season, regardless of what happens.
Okay.
Regardless.
All right. Well, I guess that's it. So that's all we got for you guys. Please like and subscribe. It really helps out. Mm-hmm. And see you guys next time.
Thanks, everyone.